You didn't pick up a camera to become a data entry clerk for an algorithm. You picked it up to witness the world. But if you aren't ruthlessly intentional, the modern digital landscape will quietly chain you to a desk. Over the last 3 modules, we've built a formidable arsenal. You know how to execute an agile multi-platform shoot. You know how to command the vertical frame. You know how to unbundle your archive. But this extreme capability comes with a toxic side effect: burnout. And when advanced creators get burned out, they don't necessarily quit, they get lazy. Their internal compass erodes. Exhaustion makes ethical shortcuts feel justified. You stop chasing the light and you start hallucinating it with software. Today, we put a hard boundary around your craft. I'm Dale Sinclair. This is the final lesson in our Content Creator module, and it is the most critical for your long-term survival in this industry. Today, we are establishing your professional code. We are going to deconstruct the psychology of creative endurance, build an advanced digital asset management workflow, and navigate the dangerous new world of generative AI. We are establishing exactly how to use the modern toolset without losing your soul, your credibility, or your mind. Let's start with endurance. Now, the reason you feel shattered after a full day of hybrid shooting and editing isn't the physical mileage, it's the context switching penalty. Your brain is effectively a single-threaded processor when it comes to high-level execution. The neurobiology required to be an artist, scanning a horizon, reading the light, locking into a flow state, relies on spatial recognition and dopamine. The neurobiology required to be a manager, slicing 9/16 crops, balancing audio channels, tagging metadata, and writing captions, relies on linear logic, often driven by the mild cortisol of a deadline. You're deep in a color grade, your eyes tuned to micro shifts in hue. Then you jump to a vertical cut with trending audio. Your brain has to reboot. You violently crash those 2 cognitive states together. Your creative flow shatters. Rushing your workflow just to feed the algorithm's daily quota doesn't just exhaust you, it actively degrades the quality of your fine art. The professional survival mechanism is strict batch processing. Agility in the field, as we learned in lesson 12.1, is useless if it turns into chaos on your hard drive. You must ruthlessly isolate your art days from your content days. Advanced creators utilize a rigorous digital asset management, or DAM, system. When you return from a shoot, you don't immediately start editing a reel. You ingest, you cull, you apply your global color grades, then you step away. Your eyes recalibrate, your judgment resets. You return with clarity instead of compulsion. You dedicate 1 isolated afternoon a week, your content day, to transition into manager mode. This is when you pull from your master grades and execute your unbundling strategy from lesson 12.3. You slice your verticals, you trim your 5-second video B-roll, you draft your field notes, you batch export them into a dedicated holding folder, and you load them into a scheduling tool. Then, you shut the machine down. When you step out into the field the next morning, you don't have the looming anxiety of needing something to post today. You are completely free to just be a photographer again. If establishing these strict cognitive boundaries feels like giving you your life back, hit subscribe. We believe the camera is a tool for experiencing the world, not hiding from it. But what happens when the pressure to post meets a week of terrible weather? This brings us to the modern controversy: generative AI. Let's separate the tool from the intent. AI that utilizes existing sensor data to mathematically enhance an image, like advanced noise reduction on a vintage archive file or optical lens correction, is fundamentally different from generative AI that hallucinates pixels that never existed. There is a hard ethical line here, and as a professional, you need to know exactly which side of it you stand on. The line isn't technological, it's semantic. It is about the documentary contract you hold with your audience. A photograph claims to depict reality. A design asset claims to communicate an idea. Let's be fully transparent. We use generative AI right here at North of Wendigo. We use it to expand canvases for text overlays, design thumbnails, and illustrate broad concepts. There is absolutely no shame in using AI for commercial illustration, world building, or graphic design. But if you are presenting an image to your audience as a photograph, as a documentary record of a fleeting moment you witnessed in the wild, the honest frame is absolute. If you use generative fill to add a bear to an empty forest, or replace a flat sky with a dramatic storm, and then tell your audience you waited 3 freezing days to capture it, you have broken the contract. At that point, you're no longer practicing photography. You're creating digital illustrations and presenting them as truth. And if you think you can fake the honest frame and simply brush it off as creative editing, you are ignoring the brutal new reality of optical technology. The industry has introduced C2PA, the Coalition for Content Provenance and Authenticity. This isn't basic EXIF data that you can easily strip out of a file. Modern software and hardware are increasingly embedding cryptographic hashes into your images. These are secure, tamper-evident digital signatures that record a permanent history of generative edits. Leica, Sony, and Nikon are rolling out firmware updates to digitally sign an image at the exact moment of capture, locking in the sensor data to prove it was captured by physical glass, not generated by a server farm. As global adoption grows, major platforms will automatically read these cryptographic signatures and flag AI-altered files. This means the photographers who maintain transparent, verifiable workflows will rise in credibility as the noise floor increases. You cannot hide a hallucinated workflow anymore. The ultimate flex for a modern master isn't a fake, mathematically perfect sunset. It is cryptographic transparency. Let the world know your image comes from an unaltered, hard-fought raw capture. Authority comes from the truth. Your learning assignment has nothing to do with taking a new photo. Your assignment is about enforcing the boundary. This is not a productivity exercise. It's a boundary-setting ritual. I want you to execute a strict 60-minute content block. Sit down at your editing workstation, close your web browser, set a physical timer for exactly 60 minutes. Pull 3 master images from your archive. Switch to manager mode, crop your 3:2 masters, actively frame your 9:16 verticals, and write your captions or field notes. Export them into a localized, ready-to-post folder. When the timer goes off, you drop the pen. You are done. For the rest of the week, you do not open your editing software to create social content. When you need to post, you pull from the folder. You have just bought yourself the endurance to survive this industry. The tools will keep evolving. The algorithms will always demand more bandwidth than you have to give. Generative AI will get flawlessly better at faking reality. But none of that changes the profound human experience of standing in the cold, waiting for the light, and capturing a single, honest frame of the world. Protect your time. Defend your integrity. I'm Dale Sinclair, and I'll see you on the path.